Podcast. This is Scott Tuzna along with Bryan and I. We are wrapping up 2016 here, getting ready for 2017. Come January 2nd, I'm going to be entering into a cutting phase, as are, I'm sure, many of our listeners out there. So today, I think I'd like to take an opportunity to kind of share how I'm preparing for that cutting phase. I'm actually going through a pre-diet stage right here, pre-cutting phase stage. We're really kind of setting the tone, get myself ready for success in that new year. Where in the past, I've done what a lot of other people I'm sure are already doing right now, which is knowing that you're going to be cutting come January and you just fucking go balls out and you're like, all right, during the holidays, I'm just letting loose. I'm going to enjoy this holiday season as much as I can, knowing that I'm going to be starving myself in the new year. To me, I've been through that, and going through that just... I find that usually sets me up. It takes a lot longer for me to get that engine revving there and really catch my groove. So I figure I'd catch my groove now before hitting in there, and I'll kind of share what's going on.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man. And what you said earlier about how a lot of people kind of go, it's 2 weeks till January, I'll just eat whatever right now and get it out of my system. That's always to say. Yeah, I'd much rather people just say, okay, I'm just gonna not really think about anything. I'll just kind of eat whatever, as opposed to aggressively trying to eat shit,
Yeah.
But that's good. A pre-diet. Now that's interesting. So
well, it really ties into. It's perfect timing for me because I have been on a muscle building phase. It was a 16-week muscle building phase where the last 4 weeks were meant to be at maintenance. So I've just been kind of holding at maintenance here for the past 2 weeks. I have 2 more weeks at maintenance. And I really realized that during the building phase, I wasn't eating the best quality food.
Okay.
So if I was to kind of take that mindset like everyone else, like you said, just use this opportunity to just gorge yourself, just freaking pig out like crazy, be gluttonous, get it out of my system. Man, that would just set me up for a lot of trouble, a lot of issues, and a lot more cravings down the road. So I'm like, fuck, better for me to try to clean things up right now while I'm still at maintenance level calories. I'm still feeling energized and everything. And I think the biggest thing I noticed is that as soon as I started eating those nutrient-rich foods, getting back to that structured eating, so eating a lot of the same foods. So the first thing I thought of was, all right, well, let's start eliminating a lot of the junk that I'm eating here. Yeah. And as soon as I started eating those nutrient-rich foods, immediately I felt a lot more energized. I was performing better in the gym. I was sleeping better. Just all in all, feeling better. Just from eating better, cleaner foods. And
so what you're saying is like your pre-diet isn't so much a reduction in calories as it is basically just kind of cleaning up. And I know some people hate that word, but cleaning up your diet and just getting back into a structure.
Yeah, and I know you've mentioned it in the past when we talked about the cutting thing. That's oftentimes that's the first thing you have your clients do, and oftentimes they'll lose weight right away just by cleaning up, just eating good, healthy foods there. And, it is a reduction in calories because I'm at maintenance. So I was in a surplus. So getting down to maintenance level calories kind of. It's a cut in calories, but it's still my body. I don't feel like I'm in a deficit. I feel very good. So in addition to eating those whole natural foods, quality nutrient-rich foods, I got back to that structured meals, and that always works for me in a cutting phase. I'm a creature of habit. When I'm eating certain meals, the first 2 to 3 meals a day, always the same, and they're meals that I really freaking enjoy. So I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to start eating those same meals right now, but I get to eat them in a larger quantity than what I normally eat them in the cutting phase. So at least I'm getting used to eating those same nutrient-rich meals. And come January 2nd, I'll just be eating those same meals, just a little less of them. So there's going to be less changes that I'm going to have to make come January 2nd. I'm going to kind of be in that lifestyle mode. I'm like, all right, just reduce the calories that I'm consuming, but eat a lot of the same foods.
Yeah, that's so wise. I mean, that's one of the first things I try to instill in people I work with is, get into a structure and get into something that, a sustainable pattern that you can repeat day in, day out. Because that's when that's kind of when the magic happens, man. Like you start to really, your body kind of settles down and get to, assess your cues, like whether you're eating enough. You don't seem to, all of a sudden hunger seems to be a lot more tolerable when you're in a nice kind of consistent meal pattern. And it's such low hanging fruit that more people, for whatever reason, don't do. Just the value of a structure, even if it is, a meal plan, it works. So,
yeah.
Okay, awesome.
It certainly takes a lot of the stress out of it. It makes it mindless eating in a good way. Like I know what I'm going to have for breakfast tomorrow. It's simple. I've become a creature of habit. It's effortless, and it's foods that I actually freaking enjoy too. So it just all in all, less stress, feeling good about the whole process there.
Yeah, structure leads to freedom, man.
Definitely. So that's first two steps. I mean, it's getting me used to reducing calories a little bit because I reduced it to maintenance. Clean it up, so quality, nutrient-rich foods, and then structured meals, which was kind of what I was lacking during the building phase. So kind of setting those things up. And with the holidays coming up, like, hell yeah, I'm going to enjoy Christmas and eating with my family. So I'm kind of looking at these opportunities as, like, during the cutting phase, I do like to have refeeds. I do like to bump up my calories once a week. And so I'm going to kind of treat these as, all right, the issue that I had in the past in cutting phase is that usually it takes me a little while to get rolling, is that I have these refeeds and I overdo it. I do what the young kids do and all those young teenage bodybuilders, and they're like, the record, the epic cheat days. I can't do an epic cheat day. I'll never recover from that. It takes a long time. So I'm just, with the holidays, I'm going to enjoy myself, but I'm not going to be gluttonous. I'm not going to be stupid with it. So just kind of trying to learn from those experiences. I'll be good during the week, consume my structured meals, and then have a little fun, let a little loose during the holidays. Enjoy the holidays, but not go so overboard where I feel guilty or uncomfortable afterwards. I know I don't need to get to that point to enjoy myself.
Yeah, and a lot of that overeating that can occur after a cheat meal, like how that some people just can't put the brakes on it. Right. Often it's because they are, they're so stressed. Like the diet that they're following 90% of the time is so stressful for them. Whether it's like it's not structured enough, and they feel that they're always like looking at their food tracker, trying to figure out what they can fit in, or it's just really, really a bland diet that they hate eating. So then when they get this little reprieve, they take it too far.
Right.
So, whereas if you're kind of enjoying and you're in a almost, hate to use the word zen, but you're in almost like a zen-like state where you're just eating kind of the same things every day, and you're not overly hungry, you're not overly full, it's kind of monotonous, but it's whatever. Then all of a sudden when you get these end of the week treat days or whatever, it's not such a big deal. Like you eat your fill and it's like, okay, that was great, and you move on.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And that kind of touched on a bit of a point there. Just tracking things. Some people get a little bit too rigid with things, and that just adds some stress in there. I'm all for tracking, especially for new people. There's a time and a place, certainly a time and a place to track. Me being experienced and having gone through this cutting phase, I basically know portion sizes and foods. If I eat the way I've always eaten in the cutting phases before, I basically know I'm going to lose 1.4 pounds a week. It happens every freaking time. So in my head, I already know it's gonna happen. So I really don't have to. I'm not going to be tracking. But that's also the beauty of doing this little pre-diet experience here, is that I'm eating a lot of the same meals that I'm going to be eating come January 2nd, and all I know is I'm just gonna have to reduce the quantities a bit. So it's total portion control. I'm not gonna be weighing it and entering it in my track. I'm like, all right, I've been eating these meals every day for the past few weeks. I've been maintaining my weight. So if I just reduce the quantities for some of these meals, I know I'm going to progress. So I should be able to ride that out through most of this cutting phase without having to track anything. Now, if I do hit a plateau, then that's where I'll start doing some more serious tracking. Yeah,
I mean, tracking is wonderful, especially for the really uninitiated, because they make all these aha moments. Like they're like, oh my gosh, there's 1,000 calories in that, takeout breakfast I got from Starbucks. I thought it'd be, when they start figuring it out, and they have all these light bulb moments like, wow, that's where all my calories are coming from. But so that's where I love the practice. But yeah, like as a way of traveling, I mean, I'd much rather see people just kind of clean up their diets and just build their diets around whole natural foods that kind of nourish them and make them feel satiated.
Right.
As opposed to always like scrambling. What can I fit in? Oh, I got 18 grams of carbs left. What's like that kind of shit.
Right.
But absolutely tracking is super valuable, especially when you're at a plateau. I mean, it's the first thing you got to do.
Yeah.
Is step back and go, okay, what am I really eting? And that's where tracking comes in really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's I'm excited about that. I am excited that I'm not gonna have to pull out a calculator or anything like that. It should be good. I mean, I say, like, I'm going to be creating a deficit. I can say, like, roughly, I have a good idea that my caloric intake is going to be approximately 1,800 calories, 1,700 calories, just because I've gone through it in the past. I've tracked these meals that I'm going to be eating, and I have a good idea of what's in them, but I'm not going to be obsessing over exact numbers, exact macros, and everything. I will just exercise portion control.
Yeah. Okay, so then you're gonna do this pre-diet, and then you're gonna do like your actual diet.
Yes.
All right. So the actual diet, that's when you're gonna like step it up a bit and.
Yeah. So we'll be reducing the quantities. That's the number one. Is maintenance for me right now is roughly between 2,400, 2,500 calories. Again, I'm not tracking just based on foods that I've eaten. I kind of know these meals. So I'll be reducing it from 2,400 to 2,500 down to 1,700 to 1,800 and allowing myself one refeed a week that'll probably be just below maintenance level calories or up to maintenance level calories, but not going over. And again, it's going to be ballpark. This is total ballpark and just kind of allowing myself to enjoy some certain foods with the guys. I go out Friday night, so that's usually my cheat. My refeed day is out with the guys Friday night, and I'll let loose a little bit, but still keep it under control, and then get right back at it. And I just want this to last 8 weeks. That's my goal. I want to keep this nice, short and sweet. This muscle building phase has been 16 weeks. I've enjoyed it. I want to push my next muscle building phase even longer. So it's really interesting because cutting phases in the past, I've kind of always had some sort of target in mind, like an event. Last time was coming out to see you. It might be a vacation. It might be a photo shoot. This time I don't have any event tied to my goal. The biggest thing playing on my mind is that I'm stoked to get back into building muscle again. So I do not want this to last any longer than 8 weeks. I think in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I really do need 12, like I don't like having a hard deadline. I'm going to give myself a little bit of leeway, but really I can accomplish this in 8 weeks. And so my goal is it's a perfect time of year for me right now. I got no stresses going on January and February. It's like prime time for me. So I'm like, I do it. I got to do it during this time and then get on to building muscle again right after. And that excites me more than having any event tied into my goals and deadlines. I'm really excited about building muscle right now.
Yeah, that's a very smart thing you said is that you mentioned that, I don't have anything going on January, February. So like it's very, very insightful that more people should do that. Like rather than look at the calendar and go, January 2nd, man, it's on. I'm going to, then they realize that they got this work trip and they're going to ski here and do this. Like, not that nothing can't be worked around, but it's always helpful when you align, your especially things like dieting. If you align it around a relatively easy time in your life. I mean, life is never that easy, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Like if you're going to be going to Africa for 3 weeks on a safari or something, it's probably not the time to push at some high level athletic goal. So.
Exactly.
So props to you, man.
Yeah, it is a big deal because I am excited about it. Looking at that calendar, and because like for me, September and October were insane. If I was trying to cut during those months, I would have been screwed. I would have been completely screwed. I would be crying on all these podcasts because there's this. It would have been massive struggles. But January and February.
So many people don't do that though.
Yeah.
Like they have this I don't know, this pretense that they that I can fight through that. Well, you probably can, if you, why make life so hard on yourself? You don't have to, like, it's all that. I'm a big believer, man, in keeping stress to a minimum. So like these people who diet aggressively over Christmas time, I think you're out to lunch. Like that's just. But yeah, so good. I mean, I approve of what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's fantastic, and it's definitely a struggle. It would be a struggle to diet during the holidays, but being at maintenance feels good. There's something about it feels good, and knowing I can enjoy myself, and
maintenance is the shit, man. We were talking about this. Maintenance is awesome.
I love it. Yeah. So basically, the bottom line is I'm just trying to build those same habits. Setting myself up for success, not only like structure-wise, nutrition-wise, quality stuff, but just really looking at, like in the past, what have been obstacles and struggles that I faced and what have set me up for the success the most. So just kind of preparing for those ahead of time. So I know Friday nights can be a struggle for me at times, out with the guys. A lot of drinking usually involved, and but it never used to be that way. Like there's been many times where I used to go out with the guys and I wouldn't drink much at all. I'm lucky to have a brother-in-law who enjoys bringing a veggie tray all the time. So veggies, and it's amazing how filling they are. Like seriously, and it's good. Because I find I always do need to pick at something.
You're that guy. You're that guy who shows up with the veggie tray. You're that guy.
More and more guys are loving that. Like we're embracing the veggie tray. There's something about it. Like it's delicious with a good dip. So there's lots of calories in the dips. But between that and like whiskey on the rocks or something, just kind of setting myself up where having foods around me and stuff around me that will allow me to kind of sit at maintenance. And
so the take-home message is, if you like wake up super hungover the night after a party and you're looking around your house and all of a sudden you see there's like this big ass veggie tray sitting there, you know, oh man, Scott was here. Okay. You're the guy.
I'm the guy. I am the guy. But I can devour that veggie tray, man. We crush it. We crush veggie trays.
Crush that shit.
Hardcore, man. Hardcore.
So you got the pre-diet, then you're going to have 8 weeks of actual, like, a little more, like, let's say, full-on dieting, and then maybe stretch it to 12.
Yeah.
So then now you'd be looking at, like, January, March. So, like, spring.
Yeah, exactly. And then
maintain. You'll have all your fat loss housekeeping done by springtime. When everyone else is just like, shit, I'm fat, you're going to be done.
Yeah.
How about that?
Dude, I'm fucking excited about that. I'm really excited about that. And so and that'll be a great timing. So January, February, March, and just kind of maintain like April, May, just kind of hang around that maintenance, and then get into a good, nice, slow build. And if I take it nice, slow, and steady, it'll take me a while to get to this level of body fat that I'm at right now compared to this past time. It took me 12 weeks to get here. Man, I think I could push it like 24 weeks to get to where I'm at right now the next time around. And fuck, that'd be awesome. Like 24 weeks of building and then another 4 weeks or so of maintaining that weight. I don't know. I'm excited for 2017, man.
Okay, but did you notice, and I think we talked about this when you were in the middle of it, because you ended your diet and you started on this building phase. Then, a few weeks ago or whatever, a few months ago, you weren't terribly happy with your conditioning. You're like, this sucks. But you stayed the course. And all of a sudden, you're a little bit more cool with it. Like, you're like, okay, this is, I feel good.
I can be happy with this level of body fat. Yeah, there's a lot that goes on, especially for us guys who are so used to dieting all the time. I've spent so much time dieting, so much time trying to be lean.
That's a big aha moment there. And so many people get torpedoed by that because they diet for a long, long time. They get all lean and everything. And then they say, well, now I'm going to build, and they last maybe a month, and then they realize that you can't suck and whistle at the same time, man. Like if you're building everywhere, and you have to learn to accept, a little bit around the waistline. And it seems to always, if your food choices are good, it kind of, it spikes up at first, then it kind of settles down.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's my personal preference. That's where I love to be, is in that, like, nothing's really changing much. You're just this slow, like maybe your poundages are going up a bit in the gym, but like that's a great time in training. It's not so up and down. So I'm glad you were able to get over that.
It was a big growing moment. Yeah. I do really feel like I've grown over the past couple of weeks, especially at this maintenance level. Because I did notice that as soon as I dropped to maintenance, I don't look quite as bloated as I did in that surplus. I look good. Like I look good in it. And there's just a lot of body. I'm just more accepting of my body here. And I think so. I know I can be happy here, especially if it takes longer to get here. And I think that's the problem that's happened to me in the past, where I listen to advice from guys that don't be afraid to lose your abs. And like, oh, fucking great. All right. And then you start pigging out, and next thing you know, your abs are gone in 2 to 3 weeks, and you're like, oh shit, now I got to cut. And so I've fallen victim to that in the past, where definitely cutting the building phase a lot shorter because I got to this point of kind of unhappy with where I'm at way too quickly. So now I like where I'm at right now. And if it takes longer to get to this point, it just means it's a longer period of time where I'm really, really happy. And then just sort of this point where, I'm a little fluffy and I don't have to spend all that much time being where I'm at right now. It's been a really, really good mentally growing experience for me. I wouldn't want to get any fatter than I'm at right now, but I can fully embrace where I am at this stage.
Yeah, like I much prefer just hearing someone have kind of a short, relatively strict fat loss phase, but a much longer kind of maintenance phase. I mean, because again, not to beat the dead horse, that's when things settle down, and that's when you really, that's your true physique almost. That's when, so good for you, man. That's good.
Yeah, I hear it. And for me, this was a victory for me. 16 weeks in a muscle building phase was victory for me. That's a long time without pulling the chute. So, and that has me way more excited to extend it even longer. What can I do next year to extend this building phase even longer? So I've really learned a lot from this building phase. I'll definitely be eating more, sticking with the structured nutrition and quality foods. With you pick and choose your times to let loose as well. Have some fun, live life, but it'll be a much more structured approach next building phase, and it'll be stretched out a lot longer, a little slower and steady, a lot more embracing the maintenance portion of it all. So it's been a lot of growth. I always find I learn a lot during the fat loss phases, because there's a lot of mental challenges to overcome during that, but you don't realize the mental victories you can achieve during a building phase as well.
Oh, totally. If you can, exactly. Everyone always talks about, I learned so much during my diet. I learned so much about myself. Like, you learned how to follow a plan and, not, just push away your urges to eat. But it's if you can handle being in maintenance where you don't have a clearly defined goal in one direction or the other, but you can still kind of make progress and not pull the chute, as you said, and go off in some other direction, and just kind of own it and settle in, and because that's a true bodybuilding lifestyle, in my opinion. It's like when it's just a part of your DNA, and you're still able to do all this other shit, whether it's like your family or your job or your hobbies, and you're still like you're hitting your workouts and you're eating properly and you're making slow and steady gains. Like that's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And that's why I always kind of thumb my nose at these arguments like, oh, you're not a bodybuilder unless you stand on stage and compete. And I'm like, well, I think that's semantics, man. I mean, I think if your daily life has this training component, and you're watching what you eat, and you have this eye on a goal, but you're not obsessing about it. That's still to me, that's bodybuilding.
100%. Yeah. Totally agree.
Dope, man. Listen to you.
Awesome.
You're all learned here.
It is. That's the beauty of this. The constant learning through experience, and sharing the journey with others, picking other people's brains, and it's been a lot of fun, and certainly the accountability group setting where you hear other people going through the same stuff has made a big difference. It's fantastic, man.
That's good, man. That's good. How high did you let your weight get to? I didn't even get any numbers out of you. Like, what did you top out at? 126? Like, what was your...
120, that's right. That's right. I peaked at... no, right now I'm sitting at 159, so almost 160. So for me, that's it's about 13 pounds that I gained from this whole thing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Yeah. So the first 3 or 4 pounds was initial, just food volume, water, glycogen, all that stuff, and It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the end of this next cutting phase, where I sit at there. But yeah, always learning and always growing. So yeah, this is good. Like for me in the past, hitting 160, I've been very uncomfortable with. So
yeah,
pretty good to see that I'm almost there right now, and still pretty happy with what I'm looking like at this stage. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, a big
nice
whopping 159 pounds. Tank.
Hey, as long as you're growing, as long as you're improving, that's all that matters. So good work.
Yeah,
good work.
Yeah. It's been good solid workouts too. My freaking back, feel. Oh my god, dude, today. So hitting day 5 from our Physique Mastery movement December planning. Day 5 is dedicated. It's just a dedicated back day.
Yeah, I know.
And this is my 4th time on it, and it's nasty. So I didn't realize how sore I was this morning. I'm like, because normally sometimes back you don't feel until you do something. Same thing with chest. You don't realize your chest is sore till like have to reach for something like, oh, frick, I don't know, my pecs are sore. Where today I had to change the light bulb. So as soon as I reached up and I had to turn the little screw to take it, my back was just in agony. I was in tears. It was just, it was torturous. So my back hasn't been that sore in ages. It's been a solid plan. Solid plan. Loving it.
That's good, man. Another satisfied customer. Here we go.
Exactly.
Right on.
All right, man. So yes, hopefully people gain some value from today's conversation pre-dieting, kind of setting the stage for success. So if you know that you're going to be cutting in the near future, spend some time getting yourself ready ahead of time, and it's going to make the transition so much easier. Getting all your ducks in a row when you're not in a deficit, you're thinking clearly, you're still feeling really energized. And it's just a simple, easy transition. I'm looking forward to getting there. Still enjoying the holidays and all that fun stuff in the process. So hopefully you learn some value from that. I enjoyed talking about it. I'm freaking fired up. We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Peace.